The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Indie authors now wear more hats than ever as we strive to create a career full of meaning, prosperity, and potential. We've juggled the demands and continue to be rebels in the face of adversity. Now, after years of hearing the shouts of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place are the seeds of a better way to rapid release. A way that feels incredible as we build a sustainable, lifelong author career that not only increases our visibility and royalties, but it's all done with intention and ease. If you're ready to buck the system and become the visionary authorpreneur I know you're meant to be, you've come to the right place. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling indie author, and this is the Author Revolution podcast. Hey there, my readily friend, or dare I say, badass revolutionary. I hope you've had an incredible week. Mine, admittedly, got off to a bit of a rocky start, what with the whole full-day mediation day on Tuesday going on, but beyond that, while not a lot is settled on that front, it also means the kids are still staying here, status quo. My husband and I have them while things continue to ride out. One of the interesting things, though, about this whole journey, now if you've never had to deal with custody issues or things like that, it really stirs up this innate desire to stand up for what's right. Now, in me, at least, it turns out to be bucking the system and all that goes along with it if it is not in the best interest of those around them. Now, granted, the system is technically on our side in this current situation, but the X certainly doesn't think so. And that's a whole different can of worms and something that I'll leave for another time. But the important thing here is that as I've been pondering where I am and where I want to go, what I've been through these past 10 years, I'm beginning to realize that I need to embrace some of the innate badassery that's always been brewing inside me. I kid you not, when I first started Author Revolution, I did actually call it Badass Indie Authors. And then I started to worry that I'd put off too many people by swearing right in the name of it. How dumb, right? Now, it's funny. You don't realize how much of yourself can really get lost through the small, everyday decisions that seem kind of insignificant at the time. Like the idea to completely whitewash my language so that I'm not offending anyone. Man, am I old school or what? Did my grandma just come out of my mouth? It's like, what? Well, fuck that. Even I totally cringed internally just saying that. But you know what? I'm going to get over my bad self and start speaking my truth. Granted, I don't swear all the time, but when it's appropriate, I think it makes a hell of a lot of sense. The truth is, I live with an English guy who uses more fucks than adjectives on a daily basis. I kid you not. In my real world, I'm like Ted Lasso when Roy Kent talks. Side note, if you totally got that reference, you are my peep. Okay, look, I'm not a 180 of who I've been on this podcast, but I am ready to start opening up a bit more of me and sharing it with you. Here's the thing, I've always loved ironic humor. I don't mind swearing. I kind of don't mind a little bit of that punk rocker, grunge, badass, gothic shit. It's something that I've always kind of grown up with. My brother was a goth when he was going through high school, and I've always kind of loved that vibe. So here's the thing. Like I said, I've always loved that ironic sense of humor. I even have a t-shirt that I wear all the time that says Zen AF, kid you not. And I have a list of self-help books, well, their titles at least, that I want to write someday. And they're all a full twist on what it means to be Zen, or being a meditator, or new agey type stuff. Well, you get my point. It's all taking it and then twisting it around a little bit. Now, my favorite band when I was growing up was the Bare Naked Ladies. And I think I've mentioned that in the past, but I loved it because they were neither bare naked nor ladies. And they were just funny like that, and I enjoyed it. I loved the humor in it. It's part of the reason why I genre bend with my writing. Why I loved Buffy as a 20-something, curse you, Joss Whedon, and why I'm ready to transform myself and how I do things. I've never been afraid of change, guys. In fact, Change has always been something that I will love to incorporate because it shifts the energy and it gets us really excited to do things. Now, have you ever done this? Held yourself back, though, from becoming the thing you are, from expanding yourself into a greater version of yourself by maybe presenting a washed out version. It's not about unleashing the inner bitch. It's more about being able to stand firm in who and what you are, where you've come from, and where it is you want to go, where you're going. It's all about knowing the rules, knowing how to break them effectively. According to my mom, who is the family genealogist, our family lineage stems all the way back to influential people in the Revolutionary War. It is literally programmed into my DNA to start a revolution. And yes, in case any of you are wondering, I do find it ironic I've married a British dude. Just saying. So in order to fully embrace the idea of being a revolutionary with Author Revolution, I think we all need to get clear on what that word means. I mean, if I can be saying it over and over again without giving it a whole lot of thought about what it really means on a deep level, chances are you've been kind of ignoring it too. So let's look at it. Revolutionary, involving or causing a complete or dramatic change. Think about that for a minute. Involving or causing a complete or dramatic change. That is quite literally what we have done here as indie authors, as we've taken the gatekeepers from traditional publishing to becoming our own bosses, to doing the thing we want to do without all the rules and the regulations and the things that are holding us back from being able to push forward. We now are quite literally the only thing holding ourselves back. So when I picked out the name of Author Revolution, I knew the name fit, but I didn't yet fit the name, at least not outwardly. It's just taken me 5 years and 96 episodes of this podcast to realize it. Not too shabby, right? Oh, Lord. So here's what I want for you. When I say I want you to be a revolutionary, to be a badass author revolutionary, I want you to embrace the idea that you can change everything in a heartbeat. Now, this is our time to shine. It's our time to forge a new path ahead in what being an indie author, a wildly successful author at that, means. It's our time to break molds, to cut ties with the past, and say screw doing things a certain way because that's the way it's always been done. Don't you hate that term? That's the way it's always been done. Ugh. Now, while we're at it, down with the patriarchal idea that you have to hustle and grind yourself to death just to make sure that your books are seen and you earn enough living from your books. I'm sick of that. We can do more. We can do better. So screw it. We're going to create a movement where we get to choose what our ideal author life looks like. We choose how to be successful. We choose to embrace the lifestyle and the way of writing that feels good to us. But we also have the option to, like I said, drastically and dramatically and completely change shit up whenever the hell we want. If your author website's not working, change it up. If you don't think you like the genre you're writing in, change it up. If you don't like writing a newsletter every single week, change it up. It's our rules, our playbook, our way, my friend. Now, I could go into all the ways that we attract people into our field who are a vibrational match. But really, what I want you to know is that you have it within you to create the reality and the truth that you want to believe about your writing career. We've talked about this in the past where what you think, what you believe becomes reality. Thoughts become things, right? That whole concept of whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. All of that stuff, we've talked about it and we've gone over it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to forget all the people telling you it can't be done. Forget the voice inside your head that says you need to be better, practice more, learn more, write more, fix it, do all the things. We're here to start our author revolution. The audacity of it, right? So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit by idly and keep waiting for your time, waiting for your opportunity? Or are you going to go out there and kick down the doors to create your own opportunities? What are you willing to try, invent, invest in order to become more of who you already are and who you're meant to be as an author, as a person? Think about it. Take some time this week to dream about it. Journal out your thoughts, your feelings, so that you can get clear on what it is you really want and what's stopping you. And let me give you a hint. Facing the side of yourself that's telling you you can't, all those limiting beliefs, that's where the magic happens. When you shed the light of awareness into that space, those thoughts, ideas, and emotions flee. And I can tell you that from experience because it's what I've been doing this past year. I've taught limiting beliefs for years, guys. I wrote Author Imposter, which is now Right Frame of Mind, in 2018. So it's been years that I've been teaching this, but I'm still working on it. It's still a part of the process. It comes back around and you go just a little bit deeper. Now, I don't know why this week has shifted this way. Like my vibration, my feelings inside are so different this week. And I don't know if it's because a weight's been lifted because of mediation. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Virgo time and it's almost my birthday. Either way, I feel more of myself and I'm ready to embrace that energy so that I can become more. And I want to prepare you, I guess, for the transition to come. I plan to give you more of myself, more of the authentic me, more of my authenticity, more of my punk rocker, badass, zen as fuck, metaphysical, get shit done kind of personality, okay? I am ready to own it and to revolutionize the way that I'm doing things. Transformation is the name of the game, and I am so ready to embrace it as part of my journey, as part of Author Revolution's journey, and as part of your journey. So speaking of being revolutionary and transformative, I gotta tell you, I had to take a closer look at the 3-day Plan Your Series challenge and how I wanted it to work for my business and for my author friends and students. Now, you guys, you know I struggle with pricing things to work for me, but that's because I want them to work for you too. So I go back and forth and I test things out and it's crazy. I know what it's like to have 5 kids and struggle with money. It sucks, and I have always wanted the best for myself, and then what's best for you. That's why I've launched the 3-day challenge a little differently. I've gone in and full-fledged launched it with a sales page and everything, but for $27. It is what it is. It has the entire challenge for you, the replays for the coaching calls, and even the rapid release roadmap sneak peek module that is expanded into the whole series creation. Now, I want you to get the most out of your series. I want you to be prepping and getting prepared for maybe November. NaNoWriMo is not that far away, guys. And if nothing else, I want you to be prepared to kick off 2022 like nothing you have ever freaking seen before, because I believe with every fiber of my being, we are ready. We are ready to take this to the next level. So if you're interested, if you want to be able to get that full lifetime access to everything, just head over to authorrevolution.org/plan your series. Like I said, I want you to kick some serious ass. I want things to go so insanely, wildly successful for you as you create your perfect author career in the future. And I want you to know that I am here to light the fires and blaze that trail for you. We got this, guys. We do. Now, don't forget, you can go to authorrevolution.org/96 to download the transcript to today's episode. I will also link to some of my old blog posts on my author side before I realized I was 2 people, author and coach. And back when I had 0 fucks to give when it came to whether or not people liked me. Ironically, I think I connected more to people back then, which is weird. There's that irony part again. Now, isn't the universe fickle? At any rate, there are some pretty funny blogs out there, even if I do say so myself. I challenge you to go hunting in the old ones back in 2011, where I talk about grandma boobies. I kid you not, I chuckled so much when I reread that. Well, my badass revolutionary, that's all I have for this week. Next week, though, I have to tell you what, we've got a super cool guest coming onto the podcast. None other than Wide for the Win author, former director of self-publishing and author relations at Kobo, and now director of business development at Draft2Digital, Mark Lebrev, will be on the podcast. It is going to be another great one, I have a feeling. But in the meantime, go forth and start your author revolution.